broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. Come on, shake your body, baby, do that conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah! Ah! I can't control myself any longer. Because week 8 is almost upon us.
Come on, shake your body, baby,
And
do
who is
that
coming to
conga.
town
No, you can't control
to
yourself
Patriot
any
Place in
longer.
Foxborough, Massachusetts, but the Miami Dolphins, the Fighting Fins of Dan Campbell, they'll be in on Thursday night. And, that's why we figured we'd come in with a little Miami sound
I
machine.
love it.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I almost felt like spring break. Where's my bracelet?
I love it.
Yeah.
Where's my puke bucket? Well, welcome to another edition of Patriots Wrap 360, our weekly rudderless discussion on all things Patriots. Alongside Jason Cherella, I am Mike Conley. How's everybody doing out in Pat's Nation? I hope you're doing well.
This is great. 2 weeks in a row. We're on fire.
Woohoo! Ow! We're undefeated as a program so far. But before we get into the Fighting Fins of Dan Campbell, we are going to get into the Jet game for a bit. And it was great. I mean, I love it.
You know, it's kind of what we expected, right?
Is there any truth to the rumor that they're thinking about making the Heisman Trophy a bust of Tom Brady now? Or, like, not a bust, but, like, him giving a stiff arm because he led us in rushing last week. I mean, the kid's sick.
Yeah, I mean, that
He
one
can't be stopped.
That one run was a little. I got a little nervous at the end of that run.
I mean, I think every yard he runs, I say be careful or, just get down, just slide. But that was huge. That was like a 3rd and 9, and he gets 10 yards on a run.
I was a little nervous, I'll be honest. Towards the end of that run, I was like, that's enough, Tom. Let's bring it down. But, like we said last week, he's the kid's mobile this week.
Chain mover.
Yeah,
exactly.
Very mobile.
And he mentioned a little bit about that on Dennis and Callahan about how he feels more mobile and stuff this year. And if I can, make a play where instead of it's a 3-yard loss, it's a 3-yard gain. If I could do that once or twice a game, that's really going to help us going forward. And I love it.
I think it's his organic diet that he's now in tune with.
Oof.
Yes.
He's had to be on that for some time. I mean, I got to think Giselle's got him eating straight organic ever since she's been in the picture, But unbelievable game. Obviously he's the man. He accounted for all of our total yards except for one. He had 15 yards rushing, and then 5 other guys rushed for 1 yard.
Well, it's funny because what we were talking about last week, our concerns were Dion Lewis and if he was fragile and maybe he wasn't going to make it the whole way, and all of a sudden, boom, it happens. And where we are, we're like, oh, there's our running game already faced with it right on the spot. And what do? They just show up and, don't worry about that. We'll just run the ball. How many times did they run the ball? Five attempts? I believe it was 5 attempts.
5 attempts for like actual running backs, and then whatever Tom ran.
Yeah. And, don't worry about that. We'll just throw 54 times.
I know. Sick. 35-54, 355 yards. That's what the kid did. Because the guy's a stud. He's unbelievable. I mean, check the balls. I mean, what balls do you want him to play with? I mean, throw a medicine ball out there. The guy's got 16 TDs and 1 pick. He should have 0 picks. Edelman's got a broken finger and it bounced off it.
Wow.
I mean, it is what happened. It is what happened.
He dropped the ball again this week. He did. He did. I'm pretty sure that.
What's up?
Yeah, maybe before the show.
I'm staying loose.
Oh, loose.
Because I don't know if maybe Coach Belichick's going to need someone that can catch the ball out there.
Is that a shot at LaFell? Because
it is a shot at LaFell.
I feel like that's a shot at LaFell.
Big time shot at LaFell. Also, Edelman's dropping balls out there too.
He is. LaFell, I mean, to me, he's still on the pup list. physically unable to perform.
I think you're absolutely right, and we'll have to see. That was always kind of the knock on him, is he was a little bit of a dropper, and we saw a little bit of it last year, but ultimately he was a good acquisition, so we're going to give him some leeway.
Of course we are, and I'm not worried about LaFell at all. I mean, listen,
6 drops, 6 drops. 2 catches, 25 yards, 6 drops.
You know what?
11 drops as a team.
Okay, but he hasn't played. He hasn't been in the game. Like that was his first. This is his first game. Like, give him some time. He's got to get the timing down. Like, I'm not worried about LaFell. You know what? Expect a big day from him this week.
All right, you calling it right now?
He's gonna have a comeback week.
You'd play him in daily fantasy?
Wow.
He's probably got a good number. He's probably got a good number.
Well, it's gonna take a few more weeks before he enters that kind of roster.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Gotcha.
I mean, look at how long it took Amendola to hit that roster. Okay. Now, you're thinking about playing him?
He's sick.
Sick.
I mean, it's like it's get to the point where, like, okay, you're gonna try and take Gronk away, or what are you gonna do? You try and take Edelman away. Guess what? We have another Edelman clone. Boom.
Well,
he'll rip you for 100 yards.
It is so awesome to watch. It's like Brady's like the maestro with who he has out there running patterns, and you just watch. You're like, where is he going to go now? Oh, he's got the Jets thinking he's going to throw, screens out to Edelman and to James White, and boom, you leave Gronk open. I don't know how, as a defense, you covered this.
I actually thought early on they did a pretty good job with Gronk. That kid Calvin Pryor actually played him pretty tough with their safety, and then he got hurt for a little bit, and then Gronk went off again, and then he came back, started playing a little bit. But then I love the play where it was like, okay, you're covering Gronk, no problem. We have another 6'7" gargantuan tight end that would just go, like, Brady threw that ball. I was like, what? That's a throwaway? I mean, at first I thought he was throwing away, but what is that pop up down the sideline? That was just a pop up for Chandler.
To Chandler,
yeah. And he was just like, oh, give me that. Oh. It was sick.
I kind of enjoy watching this Chandler thing. Like,
he's gotta enjoy watching this team. I mean, I don't know.
He's gotta enjoy being in New England after being in Buffalo.
No question. No question. Oh yeah, I love that. But I mean, Chandler's incredible. I mean, nice acquisition, all that stuff. I mean, I just feel so fortunate to be able to cheer for this team. I'm not a real religious person, and maybe it's because Thanksgiving is on the horizon, one of my favorite holidays. But I feel like
what is it?
We have to give thanks.
Your favorite holiday? Is it the turkey?
Without question, it's just eating being a major factor in football.
Okay.
2 of my favorite things.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably the 2 favorite things.
Right. Eating in football?
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
I like to pepper in occasional sex, but, it's not as occasional as I'd like it.
Well, it's because the eating is one of your favorites.
Well, there you have it. Those 2 go hand in hand. What a jerk. But I feel like we should say grace before, like, every game. You know, just to give thanks for being able to root for this team. Well, this squad. It's unbelievable.
The way we're talking right now, if there's listeners out there that aren't Patriots fans, guess what? We're the massholes right now. And this is why they hate us, okay? But at the same time, I have to appreciate what we have, because it's not necessarily. I mean, look, we have Belichick and Brady. Like, that at some point is going to come to an end. But right now, it just feels so good. Is it going to come to an end, though? I mean, Brady was saying last week on some, I think it was like a conference call or something in New York before the Jet game, I'll play 10 more years. He said the same thing last year. Yeah, 10 more years, let me tell you something. Yeah. When you're throwing 54 passes every game, okay?
Ice it up. All
right. I'm just saying his contract's up in 2017. What do they do then?
Sign him again. I mean, it depends. Obviously, we cross that bridge when we come to it.
What do we have Garoppolo for,
Well, it's just like we always get that guy to train along just in case. We had Mallet, and then it was like, all right, peace out. He just got cut by the Texans, by the way. And then because he's not showing up for meetings and stuff. He missed the plane to his last game.
You know what's interesting? They asked Tom Brady about Mallet, and he's usually pretty polite in what he says. He's calculated in the things that he says. They asked him, basically like, was Mallet kind of like that bozo in New England? And there was a solid 5 to second silence. He didn't quite know what to say.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, copy that.
Was this recently? When
yeah,
was
this was just after. This was before he was cut.
Okay.
But like after missed a flight and whatnot. But like I was just like, okay. He just didn't know how to hide that one.
I mean, that was kind of always the knock on him because he was all arm and no head. He can make every throw, but he doesn't know what throw to make.
Right.
But hey, good riddance. But let's get back to the Jets for a sec. The guy that really impresses me with the Jets is their coach. I mean, I think like for the next 10 years, I mean, that Belichick has a worthy adversary in Todd Bowles. There's no doubt about that. And I just hope the other teams don't get good coaches. But I mean, he's so great. He's so local. He says all the right things.
Yeah.
Show me a good loser, I'll show you a loser. It was great from his post game.
And quite honestly, like coming into the game, he really had that. It seems like that team is very disciplined, and discipline goes beyond the field. It goes to the locker room, which then spills out to the media and how people are, what they're saying and what they're putting out there. Especially nowadays. And I feel like he's got that locker room pretty tight, and he's not giving bulletin board material for the teams that they're visiting.
Absolutely, and that's very important. Speaking of which, do you think that person in the Patriots organization that leaked out the tweet last week of the butt fumble, you think they're still with the organization?
I would have to say no.
I can't imagine Coach Belichick was too pleased about that.
No.
That's why it stayed up for about 10 minutes on the tweets.
Quite honestly, I was shocked it even made it out there. Like, button it up. That's not our style.
Yeah. What speaking of Twitter, what's your Twitter handle, Jay?
Letter J Cherella.
@Cherella. Guys, if you want to hit us up during the show on Jay's Twitter and ask some questions, you want to steer this rudderless discussion in a certain direction, feel free to do that. I'm glad you're tuning in for us. You can catch us out on iTunes and YouTube, and comment in the comments section. Let us know that we're doing awful or doing well, or what you want to hear in the next week's show or this week's show. Who knows? But Todd Bowles, very impressive. Very impressive. Another guy we were both worried about last week with the Jets is Chris Ivory, real tough runner.
Yes.
And we balled him up pretty good.
Well, I think he had a little something going on there.
He got some issues. He was rubbing the hammies. But all in all,
I mean, right off the first play, I was like, okay, this is going to be good. But he definitely was hampered. Like,
I actually want to get to that first play. That first play from scrimmage.
Yeah.
And I know we talked a little bit about in the Dallas game and the Indianapolis game, we were talking about maybe the Pats looked a little soft in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
And like people run the football on him, Frank Gore and what have you, and Joseph Randle. And I love Dante Hightower, man.
Oh,
he's incredible. That first play, it was like he was announcing his presence back to the lineup. They're trying to do a power run like they're the power Jets with the power Chris Ivory, with a lead fullback, trying to run off right tackle, and what happens? Mr. Hightower comes up, totally destroys the fullback, sets the edge, makes him bounce it outside, and then help comes. So he doesn't get a tackle on that play, but ridiculous.
I'll tell you what.
He was owning people out there.
I'll tell you what. We were concerned about his injury from last week, the previous week, the Colts game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, if he didn't play that game, I don't know that the Patriots win that game.
I don't have to agree with you. He's a monster out there. If you go back and look at some of the film, he's destroying like offensive guards. He's destroying offensive tackles. There's one where he rushed, and I think Collins ended up getting the sack, but he takes the right tackle and power rushes, bull rushes, just throws him into Fitzpatrick's lap. This kid is a man-child. He's unbelievable.
He's the key to the defense at this point.
He's the key. I know we were all about Jamie Collins last week.
I know, but
it's Dante.
Yeah. Dante's he's the centerpiece.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He is so sickening. And with those two backers in the league, I don't know if you caught any of Sunday Night Football, but Carolina's got a couple good backers in Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis. And I mean, I think there's still crews are working around the clock to extract Chris Collinsworth from Thomas Davis's ass, I believe, at this point, because he's just freaking all over him. And I'm like, all right, chill. Hey, you have your accolades. we'll keep our two guys who I'll take Hightower and Collins any day of the week versus any other guys, and we'll just keep them nice and chill, and they'll just, they'll play a team defense. We choose to be announced as a defense. It's fine. But unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just incredible. And like he 10 tackles, a fumble recovery in his first game back.
Yeah.
He's sick.
Yeah.
Jets 89 rushing on 29 carries, 3.1 yards per carry. Sickening. Absolute sick.
Yes. And what do you think what do you think about Malcolm Butler?
Oh, I love the kid. He's unbelievable.
I thought we saw a little bit.
You're going to.
Yeah, I know.
But what needs to happen is the pass rush has to.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think that this week, Dolphins are going to throw.
Huge test this week.
Test.
Huge test for the two areas which we talked about last week. Yours one, your area that you're most worried about was defensive backfield. And Butler and all this stuff, and I kind of see that. They tried to make some moves this week and actually brought in some reinforcements because of the lack of depth back there.
Yeah.
Brought back old friend Ross Ventrone.
Yes,
you may remember from.
Well, he was suited up in Pittsburgh.
010, 011 teams. Yes,
in game 1.
That's correct.
We already played against him. Now he's playing with us.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's a journeyman
and undrafted free agent, but he knows the deal. He'll be great on special teams. So,
Well, because Bolden is banged up, so he's not really participating too much in special teams. So there's a void there.
Good news today. He practiced today on a limited basis. He's questionable for the game. Same with Lewis. Dion Lewis with his abdomen.
I don't think we're going to see Lewis.
No,
this week, tomorrow.
It's going to be another day of
I think,
white.
It's going to be white, but you know what? I think we have to find a way to use Blunt. Blunt's got to have a big day tomorrow. He's got to.
Got to run the football more than 9 times as we did last week.
Look, we're coming off a short week. Brady just threw 54 times. Blunt's going to have to carry the ball.
Yeah, that's true. Bludgeon him with the blunt force object. Absolutely. The well, let's just put the Jets to bed real quick. Again, the Pats come in right on the number, I believe. 7 point. And, there's a gentleman back in Massachusetts who might be wearing that hat that wasn't pleased about that. But we're not going to get too inside.
Well,
on the show.
I hear you.
A lot of people back there.
Right.
A lot of people back
there. But I didn't, to me going into that game, it was going to be tight. I was expecting, 3-4 point.
Yeah. Every time we play the Jets, it's tight.
Every
time.
And by the way, I just want to say before we move on from the Jets, how about the hit that Edelman took? And as fast as he hit the ground, he was back up.
Yeah.
That kid was like,
guy's an animal.
Animal.
It's kind of like the Super Bowl when Chancellor hit him.
Yeah. It was that kid is. He's a tough kid.
He is such a stud.
I didn't get to see the E60 last night, but I look forward to checking.
Did you record it? It's really good.
Well, right now I got a
you do have a remodel going on with that, but anyways.
Yeah. Which Weatherford? By the way, Weatherford. Oh, he just
the punter.
Yeah, he came in for one game, $50K. I'm out, done. That's it. He's gone, just like that.
The Jets?
I think I need to start working. Maybe I should start stretching out. I think I could kick a couple things. That's what's going to take.
Place kicking, man, especially with all the guys missing extra points now that it's coming back.
Well, I don't want to place kick. That's too much pressure.
Okay.
Just
punt?
Yeah, just punt.
All right. I missed that whole thing. Weatherford came in for the Jets, played one game.
He was he's kind of doing what we're doing. And then he got signed. He came in, punted, got $50K.
And then they cut him? Or he was just like, peace out. I just wanted to replenish. I'm going to go do a podcast. Instead of playing the NFL.
He said, I just was trying to get a kitchen done in my house. So. Yes.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
But the one thing I did want to mention, and where I give Bowles a lot of credit, and I only give him credit because it's something I've been saying for years now. When you come down to that spot in the game where you're 2 scores behind and one of them can be a field goal, kick that field goal as soon as you get in field goal range, because those guys that press on and try and get the touchdown first, then you're setting yourself up for you have to get an onside kick.
Okay, yes, you're correct. But for all our buddies maybe back home,
That would put it right on the number.
Yeah,
I know.
They weren't happy
They
about
were
that
not
field
happy.
goal.
They were
okay?
not happy.
That,
Well, like when they lined it up for like 50, and like they were like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?" You know, like I can't believe he's doing this. And then they took the penalty, and they still kicked it on
know.
first down from 55 yards.
Yeah.
And it went through. I was like, "Oh boy."
a lot of people were
I'm
mad
glad
at
I
that
gave up
point.
gambling.
Yeah,
Oh, a
gambling.
lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people mad. But I do think that's a smart strategy though. Because
Absolutely.
you put yourself in
Yeah.
a situation where, okay, if you have some timeouts and stuff, if you kick it right away, then if you don't get the onside kick, you still have an opportunity to maybe use some timeouts and get the ball back and then just heave one.
Well, look, they almost had a chance to throw a Hail Mary.
Right?
I mean, I'll be honest, after that onside kick, I was a little nervous. I was
Yeah.
like, oh boy, here we go. And you got Brandon Marshall, who's taller than everybody, who holds the ball above everyone, like over the little child. Like, oh, you trying to get the ball? Remember that catch he made? That was pretty funny. He was like, hey, oh, you guys want this ball?
He's a stud. He's a
So,
stud.
yeah, I was a little nervous after the onside kick. They almost had the opportunity. They spiked it. Obviously, Brandon Marshall wasn't lined up correctly, so they ended the game. But I'll tell
Thanks
you what.
for that, Brandon.
Thank you, because they had a chance at a Hail Mary, and who knows at that point, you know? So, yeah. All right, you know, I'm leaving.
Later
Jet
days,
airplane.
Jets.
Yeah.
On to Miami.
Oh.
Ooh, as Dan Campbell got these guys playing well.
Ooh.
You know?
I mean, let's be honest. Like, this is the team we thought they were.
They are who we thought. Yeah, exactly. I mean, when they made those moves in the offseason, I was like, you know, I mean, they bring in Sue. I mean, they already had Wake, who's a beast, and it's like, wow, you know, Tannehill's going to be a year better.
Look,
You know,
I mean, there was a lot of people.
I like Jarvis Landry. He's a player.
Dude, he's fast.
Yep.
I mean, last week he had like 109. I mean, he ran like 109 yards to the end zone.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got speed.
Those LSU guys, minus Brandon LaFell, they're great after the catch. Even the fellas, you
Come
know,
on.
if he catches it.
Don't take any more knocks to LaFell. He's gonna be fine.
That's
Okay.
the main thing. I hope so. I
But,
hope so. We're going to keep his over-under at 3 drops this week. What do you think?
That's tough.
It's going to come right on the number. That's a push.
Yeah. Listen, Miami, I think that this is the team we were expecting from day one.
Yeah.
They were a disappointment out the gate. Okay, like to me, I always looked at like, ooh, Buffalo, Miami. I mean, quite honestly, AFC, and a lot of people may have said this. The AFC East was going to be the best division in the league. Yeah. The strength of the teams, and right now they're pretty hot. Granted, they only played the last 2 weeks were against the Titans and against the Texans, but boy, they threw up 84 points in the last 2 weeks or something like that.
82, I believe.
Yeah, and so to me, I mean, look, it's the NFL. Every team is good. It can win on any day. That to me right now, Miami may be one of the hottest teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, so that being said,
I mean, let's pump the brakes on that comment. But I mean, you said it yourself. I mean, they played, the 1-5 Titans and the 2-5 Texans. You know, and neither of those teams going to be confused with the 85 Bears. So it's like. So it's one thing to do. I mean, it's.
But you got to respect them.
You got to respect them. I mean, the guys said, okay, we're going back to primates, Oklahoma drill. We're going to be physical.
They simplified, and they're rallying around this coach. Like, granted, like is he an X and O genius? Probably not.
Probably not. He's more of the rah-rah type.
Rah-rah type, and they're working off this. He's an emotional leader right now. It was what Miami needed. They got a skilled team. Offensively and defensively. So right now they're just working straight off that emotional lift that he's giving them. So do I think he's not going to outcoach Belichick, but they're going to come with it, and they got some players. And your boy Andrews, he's got a tough day. Got a tough day this week.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what we was talking about. You're worried about the defensive backfield, and they're going to be tested, but also that interior offensive line that is scary to me, David Andrews in particular, although he's been playing great. I mean, the guy's allowed like one sack all year.
Well, this is a good test for him. He's got
great
Sue.
So this is going to be a man-sized test. No doubt.
And quite honestly, Sue scares me a little bit. You know why? We all know he's a dirty player.
Yeah.
And Brady has a bullseye on his chest. Okay, nobody wants that more than maybe you on Turkey on Thanksgiving, but they want Brady. Well, you said that. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no,
I'm
it's
just
cool.
bringing it back.
I mean,
See how I brought that back?
It was a little bit. I mean, I don't know if it got brought back. It was kind of around. As far as analogies go,
It was round.
It was kind of a
Round.
ubiquitous way to get there, I guess. But
But so I'm a little bit
circuitous.
I'm
forgot my thesaurus.
I'm a little nervous in how we're going to be able to protect Brady in this game.
Well, he's just got to get it out there. A lot of 3-step drops, tire out those guys, get them to stop from rushing. Boom, quick hitters. Edelman, boom, boom, boom. Malcolm Brown's got to teach that Coleman kid how to defend that slant because he didn't get it last week.
Right? No, I saw that. Yeah.
But that was how that first touchdown goes. But yeah, so it's a big test for the O-line. Big test for who was limited in practice this week, Shaq Mason. So that was good. Marcus Cannon's going to be out again.
Yes.
So we're going to be looking at that where Seabass is over on the left side now and Fleming will be on the right side, that offensive line. So it's going to be a huge test. I mean, just Cameron Wake has come alive too.
Yeah.
He's got 6 sacks in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So Dan Campbell has unlocked something. Here's a couple.
They got 10 sacks, right, in the last 2. Yeah.
They do. He has 6 of them.
Yeah.
They got 10 sacks in the last 2 weeks under Campbell. 1 before that. 1
Right.
under Philbin.
Right.
And 1-3 under Philbin, 2-0 under Dan Campbell, 16.3 points a game under Philbin, 41 points per game under Campbell, as you just alluded to. Offensive, their opponent's rushing yards per game, 160.5 under Philbin, 67 under thing. So we really got established a run. I know Belichick says at the press conference and all this stuff, I don't know about balance. We just play the game plan. That's how we win. We do what it takes to win. We need some balance coming tomorrow, Thursday night.
100%. We need to see Blunt, and we need to wear them down a little bit with that beast. And as far as Campbell, I mean, the difference here is I honestly think at some point like maybe Philbin was trying to do too much. Whereas Philbin has now simplified the game for Miami, and they're letting the athletes just be athletes, where they're just kind of going out and making plays versus trying to overthink every play.
Right.
And so I think that they're a lot looser, way looser than they were before.
One team they're gonna have to think against, New England Patriots.
Yeah. Well, that's.
Oh, baby.
Yes.
I can't wait.
No.
But Dan Campbell also from the Bill Parcells coaching tree. So this is pitting a couple coaches from the same tree against each other.
Well, Campbell didn't. Did he play for him?
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't coach
in the Giants and with Dallas.
Dallas with Parcells.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I think he might have coached with Parcells in Dallas as a tight end coach, but I'm not positive.
I think his only coaching experience has been in Miami.
Oh, okay.
And
Parcells was there, right? As like a president or something.
Yeah,
so
right.
He's got a little Parcellian in him.
Yeah.
But
I don't think he has. See, that's the thing. I think he's a tight end guy. He played for Dallas, and his coaching experience is
just with Miami.
Yeah, in Miami, and quite honestly, with Philbin. So, I'm not that worried when it comes to that. I'm way more worried about the players than I am being outcoached.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. You're speaking of Tannehill, who's playing a lot better. He just set an NFL record last game, 25 consecutive completions.
Right.
So I've been reading stuff about how they take shots down the field. Most of the times when I watch them, they're throwing some underneath stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why he's able to get 25 completions.
Right.
But, to Landry and stuff.
Yeah.
And those guys after the catch. So I think for your boys this week, it's going to be less about coverage and more about tackling.
Right.
Yeah.
Let
them get that underneath stuff, but then don't let them rip it off 40 yards.
Right. Well, and quite honestly, I think to some extent, you have to be somewhat concerned because Landry is the speed on this kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's very elusive. So
very elusive.
Well, we'll see. I do think that they can handle it. And I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be a shootout.
Yeah.
It's going to be a shootout.
I don't know about that. You think?
I mean,
I think it's going to be
take the over.
Really? I think it's going to be a usual, Pats Dolphins grudge match. It's going to be 21-17, something
No
like
way.
that.
No way. Because, listen, you had the Patriots.
28-17?
I mean, they scored 30 on the Jets' defense, okay?
Yeah.
They're going to throw up some points on Miami. And Miami, I think, is going to get their fair share of points as well.
Yeah? You're going to proffer up a
Take the over.
prediction? Take the over. What is the total, by the way? Any
It's
idea?
over is 50, 51. I think it's 50 right now, 50 and a half. Yeah.
Interesting. And what's the number? Pats by...
It started at 10. It's about 8 right now.
8.
Yeah. It's come down.
Yeah.
Well,
People like the
they
Dan
got
Campbell
suckered
Dolphins.
into that. Well, they got suckered into that whole Jets thing. So now, but the Jets aren't the same as the Dolphins. I don't think.
You think the Dolphins are better?
Well, no, I think the Dolphins' offense is better.
Right.
But I think the Jets team
Jets D, yeah.
is better. It's a better team. The defense is, so we'll see. I mean, Thursday night. It's a short turnaround. AFC East division games, short turnaround. Wow.
I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. But, the keys, obviously, establish the run, stop the run again with Mr. Dante in effect. He's got Lamar Miller running like a beast now, Dan Campbell does, and feeding them the football. They're running it 51% of the time now, and under Philbin, I think they ran it 36%.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's definitely a smash-mouth guy. He wants to run it. So, I mean, you're not going to have success, in the wintertime and in January where everybody wants to play if you can't stop the run and run the football. So, we'll have to see that out of the Pats this week. Keep number 12 upright. And
that to me is one of the most important things.
Oh, yeah. It's huge. The guy can't take hits, But I love the fact...
he does a very good job of taking hits.
He does. I don't want to see him take any hits.
Okay, that's better.
Let's rephrase.
Wait, let me just go back here for a second.
Yes, please.
So, because some of the viewers had comments about this.
Oh, boy.
And then I want to just kind of bring it out. But do you hope that they lose to the Dolphins as well as you hope that they lost to the Jets?
I almost do.
You did say that.
I did. Well, because this...
And it kind of went by me, and I'm kind of ashamed of myself if not really.
Were you watching the squad in 07?
No, I'm sorry. I fell asleep. I was in my cave.
Yeah. Because, I don't want that to happen again.
Oh, come on.
And it's sometimes good to get a loss at a certain time of the season so Big Bill can just drop the hammer, get the boys refocused.
Okay.
What do you want to hang? 17-0 banners? That's what you want to do?
Yes.
That banner's gone now. It's replaced by a Super Bowl banner from next year.
Right.
And we don't want to...
Okay, but if you got... Okay, so let's just say, you want to take a loss. Really? In the AFC East? Jets? Dolphins?
I don't want... I don't. I said I almost want to see them lose to get rid of all this, unbeaten talk.
Yeah. It was more about the unbeaten talk.
It was almost. I said almost.
Right.
Meaning, I actually don't want them to lose.
Right. Just because we're talking about the AFC East.
Do you have a lot of viewers coming up to you on the street and asking you about that?
I mean, I almost got punched in the face, but...
I do want to give a shout out to one viewer, Fantasy Sports Guru, who gives us some props on the comment page on YouTube. Oh, thanks, guy. Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Maybe he likes Brandon LaFell in DFS this week. He can give that to his other followers.
I don't even think that's even a topic, really. Well, I don't even think that's a conversation.
All right.
But just talking about the AFCs, right now, where would you rank your most hated AFC rival? And how's that fall right now? Because for me, it used to be the Jets, and now it's Buffalo.
It's Buffalo because of Rex.
Rex just took it there, you know? Yeah. And I'm like, now the Bills are right there at the top. And Miami's at the bottom for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Of the AFC East hatred?
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
But maybe tomorrow we'll get something to hate them about, and they'll lip up the standards.
I think Dominic Sue helps, might help out with that whole.
Now the Colts are kind of in that hate. That's right. Even though they're not an AFC East team.
You can throw Bog into that, and the Baltimore Ravens. They could just. And
it's too bad we had respect for it.
Yeah, we did. I did. I had a lot of respect for Baltimore. That's a first-class organization, and now it's just You know?
Serves them right. That's why you got one win. That's common, my friend.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Some teams that also want to perform in Colts, we mentioned the Colts 3-4. Are they going to make the playoffs?
No.
No?
Well, hold on.
Wow.
They're in the AFC South. Okay?
Yeah. They're still leading that division. That's what I'm saying.
Let me retract this whole situation.
What's worse division? AFC South or NFC East?
Ooh, AFC South.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Well, because I feel like the NFC East is like they're the sleeping lion. Okay.
Once Romo comes back, Dallas is just gonna click on all cylinders.
So Philly, I think at any moment can snap in.
Yeah.
So but with the AFC South, you know what? I think by default the Colts make the playoffs. Yeah. And quite honestly, I don't like that because they could be dangerous.
Yeah. The Colts, so they're 3-4. The only team since the merger in 1970 to be under 500 after Week 7 and win the Super Bowl. Would you venture to guess?
Hit me.
Just let it stew for a while. Maybe we'll come back to it. 0-1 Patriots, of course. Come on. This is a Patriots Wrap 360. Just throw out Patriots, even if you don't know the year. It's obviously going to be the Patriots.
What year was that?
0-1, do the Rams Super Bowl. The Super Bowl 36, baby. They didn't get out too good a shot, you know? I mean, that's why they were 14-point dogs in the big game. But nobody believed in them still from the bad start. Another thing, give Brady props for his durability. He set a franchise record with his 213th start this past week.
That's
eclipsing Bruce Armstrong's mark.
wow.
Old friend Bruce.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
One of the most durable offensive tackles you ever find. Old Big Bruce. But so we're not going to look past this week. We're going to look at Miami. We're all about going to 7-0. We are, disciples of Belichick. We don't look past this next game. But if they win this game, their schedule
gets a little soft.
when you look at like the winning percentage of some of those teams, it's a little soft.
I get that.
So
But
there's going to be talk if they win Thursday night.
yeah.
We're already going to get the talk of running the table.
Yes, but
At 7-0.
but
Knock wood.
But you got to keep in mind, you got to play Buffalo again, you got to play Miami again, and you got to play the Jets again.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what,
At Jets and at Miami, those are always tough games.
and Buffalo's not going to be the same team that they were. They're gonna get better.
But
They
we
have
got them next time at Foxborough, right?
Yeah.
So I'll take our chances in a home game on that. But okay, what else did we want to chat about? Anything else, or we're just gonna sum it up?
I don't know. What do you got? I mean, this short week is.
I want to see Chandler Jones have a monster game this week. Just really just be in Tannehill's face all day. I want to see some stuff on him and Nick. I have to see some pass rush from these guys.
Yeah, and I think that Tannehill.
He can be had.
Yeah, he definitely can be had.
And I just love Belichick versus rookie. He's not a rookie, obviously, but young quarterbacks.
Yep.
I just, it's such an ace in the hole. To
Yeah,
have
I know.
I
don't think Tannehill's. He's not. I don't think he has the brain power to get past what Belichick's going to throw at him.
I agree with you, and I think that he is just wanting. He is just primed to have a multiple pick game.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Someone's going to get him this week.
I think Ninkovich, he's got his hands all around that ball. I think it's going to land in his palms.
Oh, that's who we're keeping an eye on this week. Number 50.
I think number 50 might get a little football in his hands for pick 6. Oof. What do you think about that?
Ooh, speaking of pick 6s, the kid from the Dolphins has like 2 of those in the last 2 weeks.
That's right.
What's his name?
Jones. Rashad Jones.
Rashad Jones.
Yes.
And then he does that flip into the end zone.
That's more impressive.
I'll take the 15 yards. If somebody wants to drill him, if he ends up getting a pick 6, if somebody wants to go in there and drill him mid-flight on his flip, I'll take 15 on that.
But, I'll tell you what. If I'm a coach, just please don't do that. Like, to me, it looks like an injury waiting to happen, right?
No question.
Like, Amendola will do that on a catch. But that's just because he's got to do that. But by the way, does he look like a gymnast? He looks like an acrobat.
Unbelievable. That was a great catch.
That kid, I'll tell you what, I really like that.
He's been huge. Yeah. And I think, he's...
Go ahead.
No.
I was going to say, beyond just being like a great athlete out there, I feel like, this kid has been like a team player. I mean, he came from St. Louis where he was like more of a featured receiver.
Right.
Like in the mix. And he's come in here and he is played a background role of sorts.
Yeah.
He's not the highlight. And he just goes about his business and just you never hear him barking, never just doing his thing. And when his number's called, he delivers. Yeah. He was huge at the end of last year, and he was huge last week.
Yeah, he's been huge the last couple of weeks. I think it's just that guy that who's been in the league 5 or 6 years, has had his fill of losing, and then he comes to New England. Sees the Patriot way, how things are done, gets the little taste of a ring, and he's just like, kind of pay me whichever you want.
Right.
I want to be here. It seems like him and Brady are boys, him and Edelman are boys. He's just...
Yeah, he's bought into the system.
Yeah.
He understands what it takes to win.
Yeah.
And it's... I kind of admire him for what he's been able to do. He's not his number's not being called like he maybe used to when he was in St. Louis.
Yeah.
But you could tell he was the safety net for Brady last week. He became the one that was the reliable receiver, and you could see it, and it was great to watch.
Yeah, and if LaFell gets back to his last year's form, this offense is starting to have some weapons.
Yeah.
They're already playing pretty well.
Even Aaron Dobson got into the mix.
Let's hope to not see that again. That's not going to happen unless LaFell goes on Drop City again,
Right.
But
it's okay. Everything's going to be fine with LaFell.
I just love... The one thing I really tune in for every week is to see Rob Gronkowski in the open field with the football. Because it seems like, there's nobody else on the screen. You know why? Because nobody on defense wants any piece of that kid. And, it's like when that first defender comes up and that friggin' meat hook of a stiff arm comes out, it's like, I equate it to, like a car compactor at like a junkyard. Mm-hmm. Because it's just... And he's just, boom, and he's like, ruined this, dude. And he's just on to the next.
Yeah.
He's just unbelievable. And how wide open was the other night? That was so great, like, in that Jet game, and why Belichick is so much better than because the in-game adjustments, And they kind of saw in that thing, they're like, okay, every time we bring Gronk in to block, they end up sending his guy on the rush. So you fake him to block, leak him out, boom, and then you got an absolute beast in the open field.
Just walked into the end zone.
Walked in, his easiest touchdown.
But I'll tell you what, he doesn't like to walk in anywhere.
No.
He
wants contact.
He wants contact.
He's like, hop on.
He gets off more on just he carried. Who was it? Was it Gilchrist? He just carried somebody for like 5-7 yards, and it was pretty hysterical.
One guy's not going to get down. Certainly not a safety or a corner. But anyways, we could talk about Gronk for the next 45 minutes. But we are excited for Thursday night football. Dolphins at Patriots. We are so stoked. You got anything to say before we sign it off?
Go Pats. Let's keep Brady safe, right?
Absolutely. Keep Brady safe. For Jason Cherella, I'm Mike Conley. This has been Patriots Wrap 360. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Go Pats.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.